Bulls back on this bull again.
Yes, sir. I am the goods on YouTube. TGsoGood everywhere else. I got something special for you guys. I'm digging way back in my bag. Way back in my bag. The goods I'm about to deliver. Today I'm going to show you guys how I like to recruit my high school players over from my high school roster and bring them over to my college roster without feeling like I've cheated the game. I got a whole set of recruiting tools that I'm going to show you guys how to use today. All you need is a Google account. If you got a Google email, you'll be able to use these tools for completely free. Let's get into it. All right, so let me get more direct and let me show you exactly how to copy this set of tools over to your Google Drive. So you want to be signed into Google, then you want to go to the link that I have provided. Once you do that, it gets a little, it can be confusing, but I'm going to try to make this easy as possible. You want to highlight and select all 4 of these files, right click, and you want to say, make a copy. Do exactly what I said. So right now it says copying 4 files. Cool. Now you want to go to my drive. Go to my drive. As you can see, I have 1 file. Oh, there we go. The rest copied over. Okay. So once you have all 4 files on your Google Drive, you want to make a new folder. Okay. Make a new folder, name it whatever you want. I actually already made myself a new folder called College Hoops Recruiting Tool, or you know what? Let me just make a brand new folder for this video. I'm going to call it Recruit Group 1, or you can call it Year 1, whatever you want. I'm just going to create it. All right, so there's that folder. So now I'm going to take all of these and move them to that folder. Go in that folder. And now anytime I want to recruit this group, I just use this set of information. Now we can go back. Let's go back. We can copy these again and we can make a recruit group 2. So make a copy, go to my drive, and then the files will copy again. So if you mess up your first one, you'll have a backup if you want. So this time I'm going to make a new folder. I'm just going to call it Recruit Group 2. Remember, guys, you can slow this video down. You can pause it. You can rewind. If it gets too confusing for you, highlight all of those, put it in Recruit Group 2. So this could be your backup, or this could just be a second group of players that you want to recruit. But let's go back to Recruit Group 1. Recruit Group 2, you can come back and do everything that I'm going to do in this one. All right, so now we have this. Now we need to get in here. We need to link these 3 files to this 4th file. So how do we do that? Well, first I'm going to rename this real quick just to make sure I don't get messed up. So rename, how can I rename it? There it is, rename. So instead of saying copy of 4, I'll just say Group 1 copy of 4. There we go. All right. So the reason I did that is just so I don't get it mixed up with any other files that look like. I'm going to double click this. It brings me here. What I want to do, I want to go up top to responses. You can just say, okay, got it for that. Just go to responses, link to sheet, select existing spreadsheet, click select. Then you want to find the one right here. It says Group 1. That's why I had to rename it, because look, I have I have some other ones that look just like it. So that's why I renamed it, so I can know which one I'm talking about. So this is the one. I'm going to click that. Click select. Now we're good to go. So I can close that window, do the same thing for these 2. So double click this, go to responses, link to sheets, select existing spreadsheet, select and then the one that says group 1, copy. I'm gonna click select. All right. And then I'll do this one also. Responses, link to sheets, select existing spreadsheet, select, and then the one that says group 1, copy of 4. Yeah. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to close this up. Now I'm going to go here. Now what happened to the pictures? Well, let's see. Let's double click it. All right. So if you hold on, let me make this a bit smaller for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm saying. I don't want you to miss out on anything. All right. So you'll see it says form responses 11, 12, and 13. Well, we can just move those. We're just going to move those to the very end. Doesn't matter what order we put them in. We're just going to move them to the very end. All right. So now we're going to click on the very first one, Recruit Central. Okay. That's where our pictures were. All right. Now it's time to rename these 3 forms here. So form 11, make sure you rename it with all capital letters. It's going to be SCH. Enter. Form 12, you can double click right there and that'll let you rename it. It's going to be PRP, all caps, or you can right click it and it should let you rename. All right. And then the final one is going to be REC. All right. So SCH stands for, that's your school setup. PRP is for your prospect selection, and REC is for your recruiting sessions. Anyway, we'll get back to all of that later. The next thing we want to do is we want to look at these 3 things here, 1, 2, and 3. Let's click on 1. It says there's an error. Double click right there, changes to that, press enter. Now we're doing good. Go to number 2, error. Double click up here, press enter. Good. Number 3, what do? Double click up here, press enter. We're good. So now we can go back to Recruit Central right up here. We can make this thing full screen again, and all things are going to be linked together and work together properly. Everything's going to work together properly. What is this one? Oh, this is one of my recruiting sessions from another email. So let me close that up. All right, so now we've linked everything. We've got our sheet. We haven't started recruiting yet because, as you can see, it says there's an error here. Well, there won't be an error for long because we're going to add a player. We can replace these pictures. We can move these pictures around wherever we want them to go. We can delete them. We can add new ones, all we want. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to show you is we're just going to pretend, well, I don't know if I want to pretend these guys are the people I want to recruit or not, but we're going to move this screen to its own window. And hold on one second. I'm going to put it on the right side of my screen, put this on the left side of my screen so we can do recruiting. So now we can use these 3 sheets. So number 1 is to set up your school. There we go. Then in order to use this, in order to set things up, to actually use it how you're supposed to, click preview. All right. Click next. Then you start setting up your school. So whatever college you're recruiting for, that's what you're going to use. So let's just use, I don't want to use like Kentucky or Duke. You can press here, I'll just use Memphis. We're going to use Memphis. Click next. You will have to know your coaching system, whether it's balance, defense, grit and grind, all of that stuff. You have to know that. All right. So I'm just going to use, we're going to say Memphis is, I don't know, perimeter centric. Let's just say that. Click next. What's my most needed position for the next year? Pick one. Doesn't matter what you pick. I mean, it does matter in your recruiting. All right, what do you want to do? We want to make the tournament. You pick the team goal, but I'm saying we want to make the tournament. Click submit. As you can see on this side, the spreadsheet updates. It says we are Memphis. It updates right there. It says we are Memphis. Cool. So now we can close this little tab. We can close this tab. We won't need to use that again because we already set up our school. We don't need to use that one again. All right, so we're going to go over to 2. We're going to go over to this form now. Double click it. All right, we're going to start setting stuff up. But before we start, we need to know the prospects that we are scouting from the high school roster or from your college draft class, which would be like high schoolers coming into college. You need to know the player names. Okay. So for me, I know that I have a few players that I want to scout. All right. So you guys seen these same players in their high school uniforms on their respective teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these list of names over to my Google form so that I can have these prospects input into my little recruiting database. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that starting right now. Let me scoot this thing over. Where was the game at? We'll just keep the game up in the background. All right. So what I want to do is I'm on this second sheet that I showed you, prospect selection tool for college hoops. All right. So where it says type player's full name, you want to change that up. You want to click these little dots right there. Instead of short answer, let's do drop down. We're going to do a drop down. That way we can add the player names. So like the first one is Raheel Reeves. Now, you don't have to add every single player. You can just add the players that you actually want to recruit. That probably would be best. Hold on one second. Let me bring that back up. So, yeah. Okay. So, next one. Angelo Maxwell. I'm just going to show you guys. I guess I'll show you just 3 of them for the sake of this video. But I could keep going and keep adding. But Chaos Fields, I'm going to go ahead and add him as the 3rd one. You spell the names exactly how they are in game. All right, so once I'm done with that, this automatically saves. So we're good here. The only thing is I'm going to close this for a second. All right, so I'm closing that for a second. Then I'm opening up this other one here. The recruiting tool for college hoops 2K. And I'm going to do the exact same thing right here where it says type recruit's name. Click on these little dots. Change it from short answer to drop down. And again, type the names exactly how you typed them before. All right. So now you're done with that. Okay, cool. Now you've set everything up as far as your prospects, and now the only thing left to do is actually start recruiting so that your players can show up on this board here. They're going to show up on your prospect board.